Hi Atena, thanks for watching. Today I'm talking about the latest Serge Lutens collection, which is called Royaume des Lumieres. This collection launched last year and is pretty exclusively distributed. It's only available in certain department stores and I guess at the Serge Lutens boutique in Paris. And of course you can order online, although I don't think they ship to Canada, so I was not able to access any of the collection online. The perfumes themselves are parfum concentration, and having experienced them, I can say that they are not very strong. So to me, they wear more like eau de toilettes. I always take this idea of concentration with a grain of salt. I think sometimes you can have more luminosity and complexity show up in a eau de cologne concentration, and that's difficult to achieve when you have a stronger perfume, a more concentrated perfume. So it's interesting to me that the brand came out with these parfums, but they're not giving you real depth or lasting power in terms of their scent profile. So they wear like a typical eau de toilette, eau de parfum type scents. They're not overly strong, so if you're expecting that, then maybe change your expectations of what you are going to smell and how you are going to experience these perfumes. Because they are newly launched, of course, they're not at discounters yet. They are currently $595 Canadian, so that's off the Holt Renfrew website. That's how much they cost, plus tax wherever you live. And yeah, they're pretty expensive, and that is for a 50 ml bottle. So smaller bottle size than a 100 ml, but potentially a stronger perfume. Of course, it all depends on whether the perfume works for you, whether you enjoy how it smells, and whether it's offering you something that is wildly different from whatever else you might have in your collection. I know that Lutens collectors abound, and this collection really does seem to be aimed at those collectors who are interested in smelling the latest and greatest from the mind of Serge Lutens. Who are these perfumes for? I think, it's pretty clear that Lutens creates for himself, and whatever he envisions, whatever he wants to smell and put out into the world is what gets made. And I think that he knows that there is a certain customer that enjoys his perspective and his point of view. Of course, I'm one of them as well, having owned many of the Serge Lutens collection. And if you like the brand, then there will be lots in here for you to unpack and enjoy. Let me start off by reading off what the Lutens website has to say about this collection. It says, when a fragrance reaches the pinnacle of beauty and preciousness, it is admitted to a resplendent kingdom, the Royaume des Lumieres. So these are supposed to be luminous perfumes that are maybe representing the best of the best. What I thought was interesting is that this is not, the quote-unquote Hall of Fame of maybe the best perfumes from the brand, because I think that would include something like Féminité du Bois or maybe other perfumes that people know and love. But this just seems to be, perfumes that have achieved a level of beauty and preciousness. And are they precious because of how they smell? Are they precious because of the ingredients? We don't know any of that. What is the criteria to admit them to this kingdom? I'm not really sure, but that is what the website says about the perfumes. I'm also going to read another quote, and that is by Serge Lutens about the collection. The quotation from him is, "Failing to see beauty blossom, I would cling to its roots, the kingdom of light, to enlighten us." So we're clinging to the roots of beauty because there is no beauty anymore. And are the roots really talking about the roots of perfumery? Are we going back to materials or techniques? Again, it's not really clear. That is in line with how Lutens perfumes are often presented to us, the people that are consuming them. We are supposed to imbue ourselves into the text of these perfumes and understand that there is supposed to be something about light and something about the root of beauty in all of these. So let me talk about all the perfumes and I'll tell you what I got out of them and which ones I liked and which ones I didn't. And then you can decide which one of them you would like to experience or not. I was very kindly sent samples of all 5 of the perfumes about a month ago, and I have been wearing them off and on ever since. I should also note that some of these are reissues, so they have been launched before as part of other collections, and other ones are brand new to the House of Serge Lutens. I'll start with Sidi Bel-Abbes first, which is actually the name of a city in Algeria. And this is one of the scents that's a reissue. It was originally launched in 2015 as part of a different collection. That collection was called La Section d'Or, or the Gold Collection, I guess. In that collection, it was also launched as an extrait, so a stronger concentration of perfume. Now it's launched as a parfum. I think the goal here is pretty similar, to tell consumers that they are purchasing something that is very strong. Again, in my experience, I didn't find it to be very strong. In fact, I was able to wear several sprays of this when I was testing it out, like several sprays at a time, I mean. This is what the bottles look like. They are opaque bottles, so I don't know how much exactly is left in here, but I have worn quite a bit of it because I did enjoy how this fragrance smells. It opens kind of dry and metallic, and this is a oud musk kind of combination. It's clear that we're supposed to think of a warm, dusty desert type of city that maybe has a lot of people in it, and that's where this warm skin-like musk is coming from. The oud in here is a little bit body-like, but it's not too offensive. It's almost like smelling a dirty musk, and so this combination of the oud with the musk makes you feel like you're experiencing something warm, hot, and alive on your skin as you smell them. As much as I enjoyed this perfume, in my mind, it didn't really smell all that unique. I really liked it, but it kind of reminded me of Cartier's Oud and Musc, which I already have in my collection. And it reminded me of that one so much that one day I did wear them side by side. So I had Sidi Bel-Abbes on one wrist and I had Oud and Musc on the other wrist. And they're not the same. They're really not the same. They ended up being quite different once they're on my skin. But because I can smell that same quality of oud from both of the scents and this like really dirty musk, in my mind, I kind of felt like I didn't have to add this to my collection because I already have that Cartier perfume. And so I like this one, and I can see why other people like it. It seems to get a lot of love in the perfume community. People are sometimes obsessed with finding a bottle because they've never smelled something like it before. But I think that if you smell a lot of perfume and you smell a lot of oud perfumes, you might be able to find something that's got the same dirty kind of oud paired with a musk and is giving you this like dry, dusty kind of feel in it. And the Cartier's oud line is pretty well done. I really enjoy a lot of the scents in that collection. Oud Vanille is the one that people love the most. I know Oud and Mint is really popular. There's another one that ends up being Oud and Ginger. I can't remember what that one's called. It's not called Oud and Ginger, it's called something else. I'll look it up and put it in the comments, but that oud collection is really good. So if you're into that kind of smooth, well done French type of oud, I would check out that collection, and it is a little bit cheaper actually than this Lutens collection. So liked Sidi Bel-Abbes, and I will hold on to the rest of my sample, but I wasn't really compelled to seek out a bottle for myself and add it to my collection. The next one I'll talk about is Tarab, and this one is a rose oud with a lot of freshness. If you've smelled a lot of rose oud perfumes, I feel like you might not be very wowed by this one unless you are a Lutens diehard and need to have every single Lutens in your possession. I liked this one. Personally, I am not someone who loves a rose oud, and I haven't found a rose oud that I find to be compelling and interesting and addictive to smell. I think that this would be a great perfume to maybe layer with other scents, but of course, if you're paying over $500, you probably don't want it as just a layering perfume. You want it to be a well-rounded, interesting, complex perfume in and of itself. I don't know what would make anyone choose this rose oud over other rose ouds, but that's just me. I'm just not someone that's easily impressed by rose oud perfumes. I know people really love the rose that's in this, and the rose is really fresh and it's potent. It's a beautiful, beautiful rose. It just is not wowing me. So I wore this a couple times, but I think I still have plenty left in my sample. I found it to be very strong, so I wasn't spraying, 4 or 5 sprays of this every time I wore it. I just had a few sprays at a time, maybe 1 or 2 sprays at a time, and that was more than enough for me. So that one is Tarab. The next one is Zurafa, and that one is a leather iris. I have to say, of all of them, this one was the one that I really did not enjoy at all. And I did wear it on skin because I thought I would give it a chance. This is listed as being a leather iris perfume. It's not the type of iris that I personally like, and it's definitely not the leather that I like. I was hoping that the leather would turn into a soft suede, but it's actually more harsh than that. It's almost like a soft leather instead of a soft suede, which is what I would prefer. The leather paired with the iris is giving it a powdery texture, but it's not enough to really give it that rooty, irisy type of note that I enjoy. It's not really going in a makeup powder direction. Of course, I like scents that are a little bit more feminine. If I wear something that's powdery or something irisy, I want it to be boudoirish, makeup powdery. I want it to have a real lightness and an almost cosmetic nature in it, like almost veering into rice powder territory and paired with violets. This is not giving people that, and so this is quite a masculine iris perfume. It's maybe a perfect masculine iris because it is paired with this black leather, and the leather has its softness, but I believe that's because of the iris that's in here or whatever is giving us that iris quality, but it's just not a perfume that I personally enjoyed wearing. It wasn't really my aesthetic that I liked. Let's talk about the next one. It's called Cracheuse de Flammes, and this is again a reissue of a older Lutens perfume and one from that same collection that was launched in 2015. I did find a quote from Serge Lutens about this perfume. He said, "An incendiary ode to a woman's character, the one who dares everything." So here we are. I had to try it, even though this is a rose perfume, and I have many, many rose perfumes in my collection, so I find it to be difficult to be impressed with another rose, but I was committed to trying all of these on my skin, and of course, I tried this one too. This is a beautiful, full-spirited, syrupy rose, and it will appeal to people who really love rose in a perfume. It's got a fruitiness in it that maybe smells like apple or pear. It's subtle and uplifting without being overly gourmand, so it's not going at the very, very, very sweet level that a lot of these newer fruity rose perfumes are going to. It's just adding a bit of sweetness to the rose itself. It was enjoyable to wear and beautiful. I wore it on a day that it was minus 25 degrees Celsius outside, so really cold and beautiful in cold weather. But I didn't really find it to be daring or full-spirited. So to say that this is for a woman who dares everything, I don't know if that woman would really be smelling like roses. But that being said, you know, it does go against the grain because it is not a gourmand perfume, and maybe we're never really going to see a modern gourmand from the house of Serge Lutens. I feel like this smells quite classic and almost a little bit safe in terms of rose perfumes and perfumes in general. Again, appeals to the rose lover who also happens to be a Lutens collector. It's really nice, and I liked it, but I wasn't enamored enough to want to keep smelling it and feel like I had to have it in my environment so that I could experience it again. The last one is called Bois Roi de Galoche. I really don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I think that this one was my favorite one, and maybe I have some left in it. I wore a lot of this one as well. I do have some left. And this one is for people who love patchouli, which is me. I'm definitely in that category of people that love patchouli. I can smell like a real smoky patchouli in here with the same dirty kind of oud, barnyardy kind of oud that I could smell in Sidi Bel-Abbes. This is sweeter than something like Borneo 1934, or sorry, Borneo 1834 by Lutens. I've had that perfume before and I love it. It smells so good. It's like a chocolatey patchouli. This is not chocolatey, and but it still got that dry, dusty, warm patchouli that really captivated me in Borneo 1834. It's sweeter than Borneo. It's not as sweet as something like Coromandel, which of course mixes tonka and benzoin and vanilla with the patchouli. This is a patchouli that really is maybe more for the oud lover. So to me, it almost smells like you're burning a patchouli oud incense because there's that smokiness that kind of wafts through the air. There's a real dry and dusty quality to the patchouli. I don't know, like it reminds me of like opening a wooden cupboard and smelling whatever old things are in that wooden cupboard, or maybe you have like a trunk, like a chest that you've got blankets and things in, and you're opening that and you've got that cedar wood that's in there, and maybe anything that's like old and dusty and is really warm. Maybe there's a fire burning in the background and it's winter time and you've just got this like warm, cozy feeling because you're opening this chest or you're getting your supplies out from your cupboard. And that's what I think about when I think of this perfume. I like it. It's maybe a little bit too smoky for me. And it feels a little bit masculine as well, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, I wore this one a lot, so I didn't feel like it was so masculine that I couldn't wear it. I just think that of all of these, this is one of the ones that's a little bit more masculine. Feels a little bit more masculine than Borneo 1834, and definitely way more than Coromandel, which is way sweeter, like I said. Yeah, but I like this one a lot. This is my favorite one. I don't know. There's something about that patchouli that's really making my mouth water right now. And I think I'm thinking about the chocolate patchouli that's in the Borneo. And I love that. And I'm getting this like dense dark chocolate kind of vibe, almost like a cocoa powder type thing from this perfume as well. So really enjoyed this too. Of all of them, I think I would add this one to my collection just because this one is the one that smells very unusual. whereas the others I either didn't love wearing, or the one that I did love wearing smells like something that I already own. So this is the one that's different enough and giving me a scent experience that I'm really enjoying, that I could see myself adding it to my own perfume collection. I'm gonna finish enjoying some of these samples, and yeah, I really enjoyed experiencing this collection. It really felt like something special, and even if I wasn't wowed by the scent profile, I think that it's always nice getting your hands on something that's new, and from the brilliant mind of Serge Lutens, who has created some of the most iconic perfumes that we have today, that we revere and talk about and refer to in culture. It's interesting to see what someone like that is going to come up with next, and what their vision is for the future, because of course this collection came out last year. We're probably going to be talking about it for the next 5 or 10 years. It's hard to create something that can kind of hold its own and be talked about by Fragcom and get people's attention and have people pay attention. You know, there are so many launches, and yet there's these 5 and only these 5. It's hard to talk about this collection without, again, coming back to the idea of how expensive it is. And also because in the zeitgeist these days, we are having these discussions or hearing these discussions about how luxury goods are not really worth the amount that they are charging us. They are selling this idea of luxury by capitalizing on the idea that we think that it's made by hand or made by artisans, when that might not be the case. I think that if you have bought anything that is a luxury good, you understand that you're paying for more than the actual product itself. You're paying for the history, the storytelling, the inventiveness, the idea that maybe you're holding something that not a lot of people have. And I think that that is definitely true for this collection. You know, you are going to be smelling like not a lot of other people, and this is not smelling like Guidance and all the other Guidance dupes. It's not using Agicala wood, at least not at a level where it's hitting you over the head with it. Everything is nuanced, and everything is done in a way that reflects some care and curiosity about scent itself. I think that if you are someone that values all those things, then you will probably enjoy sampling this collection and appreciating the artistry that goes into it. And that's what you're paying for. You are paying for the artist and all the thought that has been put into this collection. Okay, so that's it for me. All of that is to say that I ended up buying none of them, but I definitely enjoyed more than one of them. If that's what you wanted to hear, there you go. Thanks for watching. As always, let me know what you think about the collection. Are you interested in trying it? Do you already have any of them? Will you buy them just because you are a diehard Lutens fan and want to complete your collection? I totally understand that as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see you again. Take care. Until next time. Bye-bye.